not feeling the greatest today, but I also didn't sleep at all last night, so therefore that is why I am up doing this. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be streaming today because I don't feel great, but that's fine. Gonna muscle through it. We're gonna write some music. So, yesterday we finished all of our music for our Mist soundtrack, and in fact, I have to do one thing. Change the title up just slightly. And want to throw that in there as well. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're starting another set of 10 projects. So the very first thing I did back in January when I first started streaming was a set of 10 projects, just random projects, quick things that, I do like one or two of them a stream. And we did a set of 10 of them, and they were all kind of different and unique in their own way. A lot of them came from ideas that I had previously had. Some of them were ideas that I had thought about doing but hadn't actually written down into paper yet. I think one of them was an idea from somebody that came into the stream requesting to do something like that, and then there was a couple of rearrangements and things like that. And then we did those 10 projects, and we went on a different path after those 10 projects and worked on one big project, which was the basically the rewriting of the original soundtrack for Myst. We made our own original soundtrack for Myst. So we finished that up yesterday, so now we're going to do another set of 10 projects, starting with, it'll be project number 11, essentially. And then once we're done with these next 10 projects, which would be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, once we get to project 20, we're going to do another big project, which is probably going to be something along the lines, something similar to the Myst project, but maybe a little bit more relevant. I was actually thinking that that next project would be a rewriting of some of the music from Undertale. Not all of it, but some of it. It's going to be tough to do that without having any sort of 8-bit, sounds going on throughout here, but we were able to do the thing for Myst, so we should be able to do everything else. Anyways, so today we're going to start working on this. I have an idea for two things that I want to do. If we get through Project 11, I have an idea for Project 12. But let's focus on this. What I wanted to do was a project from the phone, which is something that I had done previously quite a few times in my first 10 projects. I have 30 videos of just stuff that I've recorded over the last few years of ideas, and I never wrote them down. I never established them. I never, built upon them at all. I just have these ideas, and I never did anything with them. So I've been starting to go through those here and just kind of figuring out what it is. So I want to start with one, basically the next one in the list. So that would be this one, which we're going to listen to just a little bit, just to get an idea of what exactly it is. Now, remember, this is recorded on a phone. That kind of not going to sound great. Not to mention, a lot of the ideas are just rough things. Okay, so I kind of remember this. Shit. What I'm curious about is what happens after the slow part. Well, that changes quite a bit. Okay, so I guess I don't develop it much more than that. Well, I can tell you what those chords are because I remember doing this. Pretty simple, actually. Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's really just 4 chords. I don't think it goes any farther than that, actually, to tell you the truth. I think it's pretty much that. I'm trying to figure out if it does. See, this is what I mean about recording this stuff. A lot of what I did with these types of things were I would just play a chord and then solo off of it, which this is how I learn most songs when I'm practicing songs or when there's something I want to do for a certain event. So I will go through the chord changes and learn how to play them in both hands and learn how to play them with just one hand, being my left hand if I was comping, basically. So, as an example, this song is 4 chords long. It's E flat minor, and then it's a C7 chord that's altered, and it would however way I want it to be. A B major chord, and then a B flat 7 chord that's also altered, and then back to E flat minor. So what I would do if I wanted to solo this, or what I would do if I wanted to learn this song, is first I'd play it with both hands and just get a feel for the shape of the chords in both hands. So maybe, and I do it in a variety of different ways. So maybe I play it like this first. So now I know how that plays in both hands, starting up here. But maybe I want it to be a little lower, so maybe I'll play it like this. Then maybe I want it to only be 2 notes in my right hand, and then, you know, the bass notes like this. But maybe I want it to be a little more condensed, maybe just 2 notes. So maybe I do. Then maybe I want to have it move like how I was just doing there, but and I'll slowly move it up and down a scale. So I'll do something like this. Right? So now I've learned kind of a bunch of different versions of this chord progression, right, with both hands. Now I got to learn it in one hand, because if I'm going to solo off of it, I can't do all this stuff at the same time. I have to kind of split it up between the hands. So then I'll learn, you know, that's one way to move around. Now that's the way, if you could see it, I can't wait till I get I'm going to get a third, I'm going to get a second mic stand and a third webcam so that I can show you guys what I'm doing with my hands. In fact, it may even be more valuable to record that first and to show what I'm doing first before we actually write it down. So what I'm going to do is right now, I'm just going to record what I'm playing. Oh, man. It should be locked better. Okay. And then we can back it off a little bit. You kind of see the majority of what's going on, right? There we go. Right. Okay. So you can see the majority of what's going on here with my hands and stuff like that. Maybe we want to move this just like that. Yeah. So what I was playing before was this. right? That was how to play it down here, and then I maybe would want to move it up, so something like. And then I want to move it up and down a scale, so. Right. And then I want to play it with just one hand, so. But you see how I'm moving around quite a bit there? Seems condensed. We can condense it even more. Maybe something like. Something like that, or just this. Or we can condense it even more by doing. Whatever's going to work best so that it doesn't interfere with what's going on in my right hand. Because if we wanted this to be, we can do this a couple of different ways, a song like this. This could be a ballad. Something like that. Or it could be kind of like a. We played something similar to this in college, and we made it like a funk where it was. And then if we do something like that, we don't want this left hand to be really in the way of anything. We kind of want it to we want it to stay within one condensed area so that it's not bothering the right hand essentially. But it's still got to be able to display the type of chord that we want to play. So this is pretty condensed. We're only really moving from here, right? I'm staying within a zone of the keyboard, which is about here. Everything down here and everything up past there is playable. So if we did play this like fast and I was soloing off of it and we went. So, what I was playing with my left hand was not really getting in the way of what I was doing with my right hand, which is what you want. And obviously whatever I do is going to be different than what I play if I was able to play bass notes and I wasn't soloing, or like someone else was soloing. See, the nice thing about that is I barely have to move my hand, my right hand. I have to just go. And I'm just basically making the rhythms and stuff with my left hand. But that's all that is really just kind of this vamping thing that goes over and over again. Now, we might want to develop that a little bit more into something different. So we're going to talk about that now. So we're going to move this back over. Get this back into position to record the actual... There we go. To record the actual writing down part of it. Nice. I just gotta move this wire out of the way. Okay, sweet. So back to this. So how do we want to write this? Well, we don't have a melody or anything yet. But I guess the important thing is, what does this sound like? And what does it sound better as? Does it sound better as a ballad? Does it sound better as something that I would play like how I was just doing, this funk kind of thing? Does it sound better with electric keyboard? I think it sounds better with electric keyboard, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think it sounds better electric keyboard. Or it could be something more ballad-like. Yeah, you know, to be honest with you, I think it sounds better just in general as more of this funk kind of thing. I also feel like it could be used better in that kind of style. Uh, what that could be used in specifically, I'm not entirely sure. I'm trying to think of some things that it's similar to. We also have to come up with the melody. I don't know. Where would you find this in? I'm gonna keep playing it and gonna keep trying to think of where you might hear something like this. Man, this is a really weird key to solo in for a keyboard. Because it's basically all of the black keys, and like there's a couple of white keys that work, but they're in like the worst possible spots, and they only work for certain chords. Like there's almost no white keys that work here except for F. Second chord, C will also work, and F no longer works. Third chord, B works, and that's about it. The fourth chord, D, F, and B work. And also, the E flat major or the E flat blues scale will work with any of these chords, and that's all black keys except an A, which is like the sharp 4 that's in there, or the flat 5. Which gives it that crunch. That's that tritone. So, I don't know. I feel like it'd be tough to write a melody for something like this until we actually figure out what it's going to be used in. I honestly can't think of any sort of like video game correlation with this. At least not off the top of my head. You know, something like this may not be used in like... To me, it's not used in any sort of like TV show type thing or any sort of movie type thing. The only thing I can think of this being used in, because it's very similar to, is, and actually I wrote this out. I wonder if it's in is it in this or is it in the other book that I have? I can't remember. Hold on one sec. Let me just see if I can find this. I'm just trying to see if what I'm thinking of is in this book or if it's in another book. It's in another book. Let me grab that, because I think that this correlates to it quite nicely. I think it's in the other room. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I wrote something kind of similar to this. Well, I didn't write it. I did a remix of it. Or basically my own version of it. If you ever play Animal Crossing, and KK Slider, who is like the music guy in all the Animal Crossing games, he has a song similar to this that goes, oh jeez. 3, 4. Oh crap, how'd this go? No. I haven't played this in a while. And then it goes this like B section part that goes. It's yeah, but that's basically how the song goes, except it's like all 8-bit and like he's singing it and it's just a guitar strumming the chords. But I wrote it out as an actual thing. Because I think it sounds cool. You know, play with electric piano sound. And that's kind of similar to what this is. It's almost exactly the same, to tell you the truth. The only difference is like the way the chord changes move. My version of it is. So to me, what I'm playing is extremely similar to this. So I'm kind of thinking that it would fit well in something like this. It's kind of a song that's used as like almost like a jukebox type song that would be in another game. It's not really related to a specific game. It's just something that might be in a jukebox of a game, if that makes sense. It seems a little odd. Seems very specific. But sometimes the best songs are from there because there are a lot of good KK Slider songs that people remember and that are actually like remixed and redone. And as an example, the dude who did oh man, if I can find him, or if I can find what he did with this song, so there's a super popular remix of Hotline Bling called We Shot Bling that's awesome. If you've never heard it, listen to it. It's freaking sick. And he did a remix of the dude who did it. His name is TuneLink in real life, or it used to be TuneLink in real life, but his channel's been constantly taken down. Oh, here it is. This is it, I think. And he just takes remixes and just he just takes like two songs and usually mashes them up. So he did that with this song, and I don't know what this is that he's mashing up, but just listen to this.
Washingtons go to wifey, you know how that go. I'm saying that's what this is all about, right? Clothes, bank rolls, and hoes, you know what I'm saying? Yo, then what, man? What? Visualizing the realism of life and actuality. Fuck who's the baddest.
So he mixed it with a rap song. That's not what I thought it was. I thought it was something different. It's actually not as fun as I thought it was, but okay. That's fine. But okay. Yeah, he basically just mixed it with a rap song. But it's the same thing. It's that... So... the thing with, like I said, the thing with that song is the KK Slider thing is not really related too much at all to anything in Animal Crossing. It's really just used as some really cool music in Animal Crossing. It's just, he's a personality in Animal Crossing. And Animal Crossing is known for kind of having these wacky, interesting characters that you can interact with. And some of them are ones that you can kind of change your... like your neighbors and stuff in Animal Crossing that you can kind of like, what's the word? You can interact with, and you can change like your friendship status with them, and you know, they give you gifts and all that stuff. And then there are some characters that are just kind of permanently in the game. Like one of them was the hell is his name? The mole that comes up and tells you how to save your game. Rossetti, I think his name is Rossetti. Him, he's always in there. Tom Nook is in like all the games pretty much, and KK Slider is also in all the games. He's in a ton of them, and so he's just one of those reoccurring personalities in the game that give it, you know, a little bit of life. And his big draw is that he's the musician of the game. So like KK Slider writes all this stuff, and I feel like that's where what I'm doing right now, I feel like that's where that's going to come into play, right? You know, what that is not going to be like some theme of the game. It's not going to be like a it's just going to be something that's in there to add personality to some game, like an Animal Crossing or like something else. So what we need to do is we need to come up with a melody for that. And maybe we need to be a little more specific about what type of game you would hear something like this in. I could almost see this just being taken into 8-bit and put into some sort of 8-bit game. I don't really know what. But I could see that being the case. So, first things first, let's write out a couple things. It's in E flat minor, right? So, let's make that our first priority, is writing out the key signature. This is probably going to be just a one staff type of deal. We're not going to write out a grand staff. There's no point. Like, this is just going to be kind of like, it's going to be like a lead sheet. You know what I mean? It'll just have the chords, and then it'll have the jazz, and then it'll have the melody, but it'll have the chords above it. It's in 4/4. It's pretty fast too, actually. If you think of it in 4/4, you can think of it as 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. You probably think of it the slower version. So, there'd probably be an intro, right, of just this. These are the chords, by the way, right? This, and then it's B major. We also don't have like a, this will get vamped for a while. We also don't have like a B section. We just kind of have those 4 chords going back and forth for a while. We don't have like a section where it changes things up. And I think a lot of that will be based off of whatever melody we come up with. We can come up with some different things. I don't want it to sound too much like this KK Slider thing now, because now I'm starting to think of the Animal Crossing thing, and I'm mixing the two up, and I don't want it to be that similar to it. Even though it's already pretty similar, I don't want it to be like, I want it to be able to stand out from that. So whatever the B section is going to be, it's got to be different. Because really, in the Animal Crossing song, it's pretty much all the same. It's just that where the chords start in the B section is slightly different than where the chords start in the A section. Other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. What is it? Is it this? So it just kind of starts in different spots. But it's mostly the same stuff. So ours might want to change keys, or it might want to go in a different spot, you know what I mean? But we're going to pretend this is an intro. So now we have to come up with actual melody to this. So I'm going to kind of just play around on these chords for a little bit until I can come up with a comparable melody. I like the... That wasn't exactly what I played the first time, but I like that. So that would be... be this. Do do do. It's all just right in a row. That works out pretty nicely. Right. Da, 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 da. Well, actually be do 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 do. Maybe it would be this. Do do do. 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. Probably like this, right? And then get tied over like that. Same chords. And at some point here, I'm going to just write the universal sign for same chords. Probably starting here. So. So what I have for the next section of it is the same exact thing. Do do do, except it's slightly different at the end. Ba 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 be da ba be da. Da, da, da. Oh Jesus! I shut off the thing. Da 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 ba da ba ba da. So this would be like this. Three, four. So and I'm going to just write this, which means essentially same chords as the previous two measures. See, now I don't want to go to, because that's the same thing as the Animal Crossing song. We want to change it up slightly. We don't want it to be an exact copy. That's kind of complicated. Right, we got that. I kind of like that idea. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and da 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 da. So we have do da 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 ba ba da ba do ba do ba do da. So that's quite a long line. So we have to kind of figure out how that's going to mix up here. Da 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 da. So this actually wouldn't be this. It would be da 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 da. Be like this. And then these would all be 16th notes, except the first one would be kind of like a tied note. It would look like this, like that. And we're now changing up the chord, so we need to write that in actually instead of just writing the universal sign for keeping the same chords. And this has to be tied to another 16th note. I can't just write. Oh shit. I can't just write like an 8th note, since it is just going to be an 8th note. I can't write it that way because it has to look like it is connected with this rest. If it isn't like that, it's not proper syntax. Just all stupid stuff that I remember from music theory class. Right? So we have da 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 ba do 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 do. And then this next part is going to be this, which is also naturalized. Oh, this is going to get really ugly because I'm running out of room here, but oh well. Looks so stupid, but oh well. This is a D minor, and then this is going to turn into a G7, probably altered at some point. So it goes. So we got to figure out how the melody is going to go from there. But it will hit C minor. And this next note is going to be a B flat of some kind. Don't know how long it's going to be a B flat, but it'll be a B flat. So how about this? Something like that. So back to the top. So we have. Yeah. So these are all kind of composition stuff. I'll kind of go over what I did before. So like when I first started going at it. No, it's not. No. No, this is stuff I'm just doing off the top of my head. I wrote a series of 10 songs when I first started streaming back in January, and then I did a big project, and I just finished with that yesterday, so now I'm doing another series of 10 projects. No, all of this stuff is basically either ideas from other people or stuff that I've had kind of stewing that I haven't actually written out and deciphered yet. That will all of this will end up being recorded and then edited through a recorder, through an editing process, and then thrown up as my own stuff. So this is this long. No, but we did have to do stuff similar to this when I was in college. So then this next part is... doo-ba-doo-ba. And then this is then tied to the rest of the thing like this, right? And then when we get to here, it's going to be an F7, probably altered in some way, shape, or form. And then we're going to do... Oh no, it's not an F7. I'm sorry. It's a B. It's a B7, and the specific alteration that I'm doing on it is this is sharp 11. Yeah, sharp 11. Yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, definitely. In fact, I did that. That's what a lot of the stuff that I do is similar to that. In fact, let me show you something that I did a couple weeks ago on stream. I took a song from the Sonic Adventure series and I turned it into a blues. So I'll play you the song, and then I'll show you what I did. Because I love this. I'll show you. It's really cool. So I'll just play as much of it as I can. Yeah, so that's the basic song. It is Sonic. It's straight from Sonic. It's from Sonic Adventure. So I took it and I changed it into a blues. And it's basically two different types of blueses. There's one type of blues. It's the first one is a 8-bar blues in major, and the second one is an 8-bar blues in minor, but it's the A and B section of that song. and then shit. What did I write here? So I kept the melody all the same. I just changed it into a blues, but it's all the same stuff. It's just totally reharmonized and totally different. Yeah, I mean, totally changes it up. And that's like such a throwaway song. No one ever remembers a song like that. That was like such a whatever song in the actual game. But yeah, that was actually the last project that I worked on before I did my like big project that I have been working on the past like week and a half on stream. And now we're back to doing 10 more projects. And this is kind of an undefined project that we haven't really labeled as where it's going to fit in the universe, essentially. But the closest thing that I can relate it to is it's very similar to a song from Animal Crossing that I can play for you if you'd like, or if you know about Animal Crossing, like where it might be from. But that's like the only thing I can think of that this would fit into nicely in either the video game world or just in the world in general. It's all about trying to figure out where this is going to land, essentially. Because what I will do is I will go back and forth between, oh, I had this idea, let me write it down, where does it fit in the universe? Or, I have an idea for a song that I want to put in this game, or in this thing, or this, and then write it based off of that. So this is an example of something that I had this idea already, I'm writing it down now, and now where does it fit in the world? Right. Well, I try to stream every day, at least during the weekdays. I stream every day during the weekdays as much as possible, starting around this time. But yeah, the way it works is however long it takes me to do the 10 projects, I do the 10 projects. So like last month, it took me 2 weeks to do the 10 projects. And then I spent the last week and a half working on the big project, which was I was rewriting or basically making my own version of a soundtrack for the game Myst. So that's what I did for the last week and a half. Well, I just finished that up, and now I'm back to doing 10 more projects. It will probably take me another 2 weeks, taking me well into February. And then we're going to work on another big project, and we're going to kind of go back and forth between doing that and that. The Myst thing didn't go over as well, I think, and that I think is because a lot of people don't really know much about Myst, like that are on Twitch, because now that's like an old game, like a really old game for people, and to just bring that up was kind of out of the blue. It was just a personal thing I really wanted to do, and so I kind of, you could say maybe I rushed it a little bit, but I just got it out, and now we're back to doing these projects that everyone seems to like. People seem to pop in and really like putting their input in and like listening to it and stuff like that. So, and the best part about it is like it's always from different stuff, so it's cool. I don't do that necessarily. The reason why is because I've just now gotten my editing software to work. There was a big problem with it. I got it on Christmas, and there was just kind of this whole issue with it. I finally got it to work. I have to still fool around with it and get used to it. The other problem is I would have to shut down a lot of stuff on my stream, like notifications and stuff, because if I was recording, when someone follows me, I have like things that play. And if someone does something else on my stream, I have stuff that plays all the time, so I can't really, like, I'd be in the middle of something, and then, like, when someone follows me, a meme plays, and so I'd have to, like, get rid of that notification, and then I have to make sure, if someone followed me, I gotta let all that kind of stuff. I will, however, do something similar to once I get the editing software down, I will show my process of editing it in the editing software. Show you what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, the instrumentation of everything, how I recorded it. But the recording is probably going to be offline for now. But if people really want to see it, I don't mind showing you the process of recording it. That would be great, man. Yeah, jazz is my big thing too, to tell you the truth. 3 PCs, holy shit. Yeah, that sounds like a heavy-duty thing. Yeah, I mean, my big thing was jazz too in my college. They didn't have a jazz program, but I just went ahead and did the classical program, and then all the jazz stuff was student run, which I helped run all 4 years in some way, shape, or form. I was always involved because jazz has always been my big thing. But yeah, it's pretty beefy. I just have this PC, which is actually a gaming PC, because I originally was streaming last year, just gaming stuff, and it just devolved into me playing Hearthstone all the time on stream, because that's what I got not known for. I mean, I don't have that many followers, but like that's what people would come into the stream to see, and I got so sick of Hearthstone. I was like, we're shutting this down. I just don't want to do this all the time. It's so boring. Like, just sticking to one game is just I do want to stream games though at some point. If we get like I keep saying, if I get a decent enough following, I'll stream games along with this. I'll do two. But yeah, that sounds awesome though. It sounds like you got quite the rig. I wish I had something similar to that to work on things like that. And then we're gonna do sound wishes. Gotcha. Yeah. Seems like a hefty little thing there. So what I'm gonna do is this in some way. It's gonna be nice. Yeah, I have like a dual monitor thing, but that's about it as far as running different things. I do have a tablet. Maybe I should start doing stuff with that too while I stream. I don't know. Have to figure it out. So we're gonna do 1, 2, so 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's gonna be like this. 1 and 2 and yeah, it couldn't hurt. You're right. Do 1 and 2 and I guess this would be like this, right? I don't know if that's technically the proper syntax for that, but do to be the A flat 7 that I'm playing. So we have 1, we have 2, 3, do, and then we would play the same exact thing. Yeah, I always second guess myself when it comes to musical syntax, because I always think that I am doing it wrong or right. I can never tell. I was a jazzer, so I didn't write proper syntax all the time. I think that makes sense. 1 and 2 2 2. So let's do this. Nope. Nope, that's the wrong rest. I always remember how they taught us to learn how those rests work. And then we'll write B flat 7. Oh god, that's like so smushed, but that's the best I'm going to get right now. So that is going to be like the A section, which will have a double bar. Loop be repeated. And write A if I wanted to. And write intro up here. Write a little B section there for what we'd say. Oh no. Gotcha. Yeah, no problem, man. I'm struggling to get my pencil. Hold on. Somehow flew all the way over the hell over here. There we go. Let's write B. There we go. So this is what we have right now. You know, we could do something like that, or like, no. No, I don't like that. I don't like how that sounds at all. It's kind of gross. I kind of just like it going. So now we have to figure out a B section. Because we have this now. I kind of like that though. Going. Oh man. It's getting a little funky. I like the idea of going from here. Let me refresh the stream quickly. I haven't done that in like since I started. Always important to refresh the stream. So I like the idea of going down into A minor or G major, whichever sounds better, or whichever's gonna sound better. I like that. So we have da 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 da. See, here's the thing. We're changing keys here, but we're changing keys here. I'm just trying to figure out how long we're going to be in this different key and if it's worth it to change the key signature. You know what I mean? If we change the key signature now, but then we quickly get back up to, you know, E flat minor at some point, then it's not really worth it. But if we're going to be in this key for a while, it's worth it so I don't have to keep writing naturals all over the freaking place. Yeah, we probably are going to be in this key for a while, so why don't we go ahead and change the key signature? I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. So we're going to do do da ba da. I keep turning off the freaking keyboard because it's the power button is right next to my elbow because unfortunately I'm left-handed. Yeah, I would say that this is do da 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 da, like this. Do da 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 da. I'm trying to think if this makes sense. Do da 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 da. One and do da 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 da. I don't know. Do da da ba da. I think it makes more sense if it's like this. And then this is tied to this. Yeah. God damn it. We have one. Well, this whole thing would be 1, 2. No, that does not make sense. I think one of these is supposed to be an 8th note. That's where I'm getting tripped up. either that or this is just wrong, and this is this. Because if this were the case, this would make sense. Da 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 da. And I'm swinging it, so I guess that makes sense. Ba da. If it wasn't swinging, it'd be ba da ba ba da da. Yes. Kind of what I want. That's kind of the chord changes I want. So let me write out the chord changes. It actually might make more sense if I do it that way. Do do dee dee dee. And then it's gonna go G major 7 do to G7 to F sharp minor 7 flat 5. All right, man. Sounds good. Do do dee do do. Then B minor 7. E7 and then A minor 7, D7, and then at some point it's going to go to A flat minor 7 to D flat 7 to C7 altered, and then B flat 7 altered to, or I'm sorry, other way around. B major to B flat 7 altered. And that will signal us to go back to the top. Shoulder right top. So now we have to come up with a melody for that. It'll be something like that. So I think that this would... Oh, god damn it. I keep turning that off. It's such a pain. I think it would be like this. Don't need to do that, actually. Hold on. I forgot that my keyboard does this weird thing that if I turn it on while I'm holding down the pedal, it will just always be legato until I push the actual pedal down, and then it won't be legato. It just flips. So this is going to be do 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 do. Da 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 do do da 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 da. And I guess this would be tied do 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 like this, right? This being a natural. Yeah, I think this is correct. It's just I'm running out of room, which kind of sucks. Do 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 do. luckily that's just the end. And then I believe that this would be this. All the way around. Boo ba didn't do da. And then this would be tied to, oh man, I'm running out of room. Like this. It's kind of what I wanted to do there is. So the same thing as this, except here. Do da da. Did I really write it out like that? All right, yeah. I guess that makes sense. Like that. Do da do do. Is that? Do da do ba do ba. But this in of itself is only do ba do. This is just an eighth rest. And I think this would also be an eighth rest. And that's going to be tied over to this. So it goes basically like this. Right. So this is going to be a half note. Do ba da boo doo doo. Do 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 ba do 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 ba do 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 ba do. And then I think it's this. Yeah. Because this would be 1, 2, 3, and then this whole thing is 4. So yeah, that makes sense. 1 and 2. And then this would just be 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and And these would be lined up with the hits, obviously. Okay. So that's basically what I have in its entirety. And I'm going to just kind of section that off now. And maybe do it so that this part here is not there. So this whole thing sounds like this. Ah, I'm looking at the wrong line. Something like that. You always write out the chord. I don't usually write out the chord in its entirety. I will just write out something like that. Oh, shit! I gotta lower the volume on my end so you don't hear it twice. Thanks for the follow, man. I really appreciate it. I love that meme. No, I usually write it out like that. Like a lead sheet, essentially. Mostly because I have my own way of playing those chords. Like, I'm not playing it in E flat minor 7. I'm playing an E flat minor with other extensions on them all the time. I'm playing this. Or same thing with this. I just put C7 alt. I just have ways of altering it that I like. You can alter them however you'd like. As long as they fit with the melody, it doesn't really matter to me. I want people to have the freedom to be able to play it however they'd like. So, you know, you can write that off as just like, oh, well, you're just too lazy to write out the whole chord. Well, no, it's not that. I just would prefer it if people kind of played it however they wanted to. Because I always hated it when, like, someone gave me a jazz song and, like, it was just all written out exactly perfect, and then I'd have to I would just go through. Like, I did this all the time. I would go through, when songs never had, like, chord changes above it, I would just go through and write down the chord changes that were written there, and I just play in my own way. Because that's just not as much fun for people to play. And plus, it makes it so that each time I play through it, it's going to sound slightly different, because I won't always play that E flat minor 7 the same way. Maybe the first time I'll play it like an E flat minor 7 chord like this. Maybe the second time I play it, I'll play it like this. Second time I'll play it, maybe I'll alter it and do, you know, something like that. Or maybe I'll find another chord change that I think sounds better at the time. Like, start from below and go up, or something like that, or find something else weird. So, there are some reasons why, because a lot of Miles Davis's stuff was very, very particular, And there's a lot of stuff like that too. More recent day guys like Pat Metheny, Chick Corea, and like Wayne Shorter have stuff that's written out specifically. You have to play those chords or it's just going to sound like crap. There are a ton of them. Like I have my real book. Where is that thing? Oh, it's in the other room. I have my real book that I use and take on gigs and stuff all the time. That sometimes you do have to play the chord exactly. Like sometimes, for example, there's a song called Gemini that goes, and you have to play. It's an E flat triad, and then a D flat triad, and you have to play it like that, or else it doesn't sound. If you add extensions on it, it sounds like crap. But there's tons of stuff like that. But in this case, I don't really care how you play it. You can play it however you'd like. Yeah. Yeah, right. It's all up to the person, and I want people to realize that when I'm writing this stuff, so that when I eventually record it and decide to copyright it, if I like it enough to go through that process, because some of the stuff I don't like enough to go through that process. Like I can kind of already tell you in advance, this is probably not something that I would end up liking all that much. There is stuff that I've already written that I would like enough to copyright and like make my own. And then if someone wants to do a cover of it, they can feel free to play any chord that they want. They can change up the chords. The only thing that really needs to be maintained is the melody to a certain extent. You got to be able to know what the song is. Right. You know, there's no like hits in this. Some of the stuff that I've written, there's hits very specific to what I want being played. Like as another example, I don't know if it's in this book or not. I think it is. I wrote a cover of Old Devil Moon that I love, but it is very different than the original Old Devil Moon. If I can play through it, it's so tough to play by myself. But yeah, it's so tough to do all the crap at once. And when I played through this, I had like 4 other people helping me with this. But there's a lot of these hits going on, like here. These are specific hits. This right here was a specific thing. But my big thing was this, is like the original Old Devil Moon goes like this. And then they eventually changed it to... Well, I changed it so that the bass notes are totally different, and it's... I don't even remember what these hits are. But it leads to... And this got crazy. I love this version of this that we did. And then eventually there's just a part where it's going back and forth between... And that's such a weird chord, that third one, that you can do a lot of different things with it. Like we were doing things like soloing off of E major and and just really bizarre stuff. But it was, you know, it was a lot of fun. That one. So we are at 10. I've been streaming for like an hour and a half, and we've pretty much finished this. I mean, there's not much more we can do to it specifically, I think. Lydian chromatic? Like, give me an example of what you mean, because I'm freaking terrible with terminology. I've probably played stuff like that, and then I'd have to, like... Stack forts I've done. Yeah, like, for example, the song Crystal Silence by Chick Corea, all those chords are built in fourths, and it goes... Actually, it starts like, and then it gets into weird stuff. Some weird shit. Chords stacked down for the melody note and fourths, and then up in thirds? Right. Yeah, that's what Crystal Silence basically was. And I learned that because, like, that does not happen very often in music. Almost all... Like 97% of music is written, the chords are written in thirds. And there's like a couple songs that are written in fourths, but that's one. Yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from. I mean, it's the same thing as like what I was doing with this Crystal Silence thing, because the chords are built off in thirds, like... And it basically just, when you build a chord off of that, it's just what the matter of importance of the note. So instead of the third being the most important note, like it usually is, the most important note would be the 11th. And then you keep going. And the third is like almost not important at all. You pretty much just skip it all, like, entirely. And it basically just sounds like a bunch of suspended chords, depending on how you do it. But Crystal Silence was like that. That chord specifically built like that. And if you play it the other way around, like in a thing built in thirds, it's horrible. Doesn't sound good at all. It also makes for soloing, really weird soloing. Yeah. Right. So what I was playing there is the melody note is G, so therefore I'm playing D and A. And then in the bass, I'm just playing, the chord is an A minor chord, so I'm just playing A, E, and A. Next one is D, and so yeah, I was playing. That one I'm just going down in triads, but... Going down. Yeah, that's what Crystal Silence is pretty much all about. I originally took jazz lessons in high school and did not understand a thing that was going on, and I took them for 4 years, and I really don't even know why, because I did not understand a thing. And it took me till I went to college to kind of figure everything out, and I just kind of did it on my own. But the dude that I learned from is like one of the greatest jazz piano players. He's definitely the best in my area. Fantastic jazz piano player, and he showed me a little bit about that because I had asked him about Crystal Silence once, and I was like, "These are just so weird. I don't know how does this work?" And he showed me how they're played, how everything's played in fourths, and kind of the structure of how that works. And I just thought that was so bizarre. And explained to me how it worked and stuff like that. I never understood it. When in high school, it made no sense to me. But as I progressed in college, I kind of figured it out and understood a little bit more about what exactly I'm supposed to be doing with that and how that works. It happens so rarely in music, though. I wish there were more songs that would do that kind of thing. Especially in like video game music, which is a lot of what I've been writing so far. I mean, most of the stuff that I've written in all of these projects are video game music, which is, I want to be diverse, but like I just love writing video game music. It's just so much fun to come up with it. Still don't know what this is going to be, though. I have not figured out where you would hear something like this and how it would appear in games. Like, I have no idea. Yeah, so I haven't really figured out how I want to use that and how I want to do that. I'm going to take a quick break, though, myself. But when we get back, I think what we'll probably do is start our next project. Not sure how far along we'll get into it. And I don't know. If you actually have any suggestions on what I should write, go for it. Not just like what I did. Just give me a specific thing, like you should do something for this or something for this, something related to this, and I'll try to write it on the spot, basically. And if not, I will try to come up with something, an idea to write for. So I will be right back, and I will play something. Let's do... I know exactly what to play. I will be right back. That is a Japanese jazz piano player named Hiromi, who's like freaking nuts. She's one of like the best piano players I've ever heard in my life. And it's so funny because she's just like this tiny woman, like tiny little hands. And I don't get how she's able to do all the stuff she is. And you would think that she plays things very delicately and smooth, and she doesn't. She gets really gritty, and it's just crazy. Like a lot of her stuff is really gritty too. She doesn't even really play the piano like all that delicately. It's just super gritty and a lot of dissonance and a lot of like slamming on the keyboard. You wouldn't think that she would do. I remember I saw a concert. There's a concert of her on YouTube, and she's pregnant, and she's up like bouncing around, and I'm like, oh my god, like there better be a hospital nearby because this kid's gonna pop out of her in the middle of the concert. Yeah, right. It's the same sort of thing. So God, I can't really think of another project to write right now. I don't know if anyone else has any ideas of something to write. I have some ideas written down that I want to do, but a lot of that needs to be saved, I think, for like a big project, kind of like not these in between 10 projects that I'm going to be doing. So I want to come up with something, that's just, it take me a couple hours. Like this took me an hour and a half to finish writing out, right? And that idea was grabbed from my idea phone, since all of my ideas kind of spring from this. At least I have a good chunk of it. Any one of your songs? Well, I can interpret it for sure, but as far as writing my songs, I can definitely do that. Do you have it like a PDF or something, or like how'd you do that? Because I have nothing else planned. I figured that this was going to take me like the whole time I was planning on streaming, but it clearly didn't. It took me a lot sooner. I really should have like 2 things planned out for that day, and I knew I wanted to do that, and I was thinking of other stuff that I wanted to do, and I just couldn't think of anything. But I'll have to come up with something for tomorrow, since tomorrow I got to do a Project 12 anyways. But no, I mean, if you have another song that or if you have something, yeah, I mean, I can listen to it on a SoundCloud, yeah, and just kind of figure it out by ear. That wouldn't be a problem. I can do that. So let's do this. In the meantime, while you're doing that, I guess we'll just kind of figure out what else I want to write. So actually, I did have an idea for something. I don't know how often anyone's ever like watched somebody or themselves have played like one of those anime dating sims, but the music in the background of some of those are actually decent. And as an example, there's a game that just came out last year called Valhalla, Cyberpunk Bartending Simulator. It's like the weirdest game you never expected. One of my favorite YouTubers did kind of like a stream, and they played it, and the music in it's really sweet. Super basic, but it's just so cool sounding. And I want to write something like that. I think that'd be cool to analyze that and go through that, and kind of write my own thing based off of that. But there's so many songs there's like 50 songs in the playlist if I can find it. Valhalla Bartender. Here's OST. It's already there. Yeah, there's 65 songs, so I'm not gonna go through all 65. And that's just like the first part of it, because there's like another part of it called like Second Round or something like that, that has like another 65 songs. There's a ton of them, and really what they're all supposed to do is simulate like a jukebox in a bar, and you like set them every day, and you go through the life of this bartending thing. It's a weird game, but it has some really cool story in it, from what I saw, and the music in it's really sweet. I like the music a lot. It's weird how my musical tastes have changed so much from being out of college, because when I was in college, it was all about how complex and weird can we make the song, and now that I'm out of college, it's almost the exact opposite. How cool can a song sound, or how much emotion can a song bring with as little music as possible? And as an example of that, Undertale does a great job of that, because a lot of Undertale songs have like nothing going for them, but they drag so much emotion out of them. I'm gonna find an example of this, because the Undertale soundtrack is like some of the greatest music, even though it's 8-bit. Some of it's 8-bit, not all of it. And let me find. There's one song in particular that like, it's, how many chords is it? Like 3 that just repeat, and it's so good. Just the way that it was written, just the way that everything. I think it's this. Let me double check. super simple, right? It's 3 chords. It's D flat minor, E flat minor, D flat minor. I know I'm not hitting the exact notes, but and then B minor. And that's all it is. But just the way that it's played, it fits the situation in the game so well. I love the Undertale music. It's so good. And they do such a good job of making it so simple, but yet bringing its point home. I gotta refresh the stream quickly here. Hold on 1 second. And it's a weird change of pace in my like musical mentality. Because like I said, when I was in college, I was all about like, how complex can we make this piece of music? I want to play stuff that's weird and very difficult and like annoying sounding, right? And yet now I'm like the complete opposite. Okay, let's take a listen to this real quick. I don't mean to pause it. I'm just trying to figure out how to lower the oh, it's down here. Because that is probably very loud. I just want to lower that. Okay, let me go back to the beginning and listen to that again. I like how it seems like every time you repeat that part, so it's an E flat minor, right? Sorry, it's an A flat minor. I like how every time you repeat it, it seems like it's the same chord, but then it that's right. Trust me, I have heard some real not great, musicians. I like how the inner lines are what changes, and for the most part, like the chord sounds like it's intact, but the inner lines are changing like so subtly that it changes it changes the makeup of the chord, which is really cool because then. And I don't know exactly what the chords are. I'm just kind of giving you my first impression ear training. Hopefully I'm correct, but I believe the first one is some sort of A flat minor chord, and then it goes to not G. It goes I think E major, and then back up to this. I got to hear it again, but then there's those subtle little things that are going on in it that's really cool. I want to hear it again. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah, I was just gonna say, and then it goes to B major, and then I heard that, and then it goes back to this. Right. Yeah, you can hear it because the cool thing, I think it's really just the difference between the A flat minor 7 and then the B major 7, because they're relative major and minor. It sounds like it's changing, but it's just really. Yeah, that's really sick. I like that. And then yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And then it changes into the next section of the song there. Yeah, it's cool how subtle that is. Especially the second time around. It's just subtle how it moves. It's almost like you're not moving the bass note or something. It's just really cool. Right, the chorus is in a different key. Gotcha. Gotcha. I'll listen to a little bit more of it. I like that. I like that chord right there, which I think is. Well, the bass note is B flat. I'm trying to think of the rest of it. I have to hear it again. I think it's just B flat major. I'm assuming. But just the way that it transitions into that is pretty sick. I like how that moves. You wrote what? B major with an A sharp in the bass. Right. That beginning is sick though. I really like the beginning. And just that transition into that chord is pretty cool. I've never heard. It's interesting how the guitar is able to do that, as opposed to the piano. It's pretty abrupt when you hear a key change or even just subtle chord changes at the piano. It's just way easier to hear as opposed to a guitar. The guitar is just different. It's just a different instrument to do that kind of thing with. Piano, it's a little more obvious when you're changing up what chord it is. But I definitely like the beginning. That's really cool. I'm definitely a fan of that. For sure. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to think of what else to do here, because like I said, I did not think I was going to finish up the project as quickly as I did. You know, one of the things that I have to do, maybe I can play it for you, as kind of an audience member here, because one of the other things I want to do is, so I've written the other 10 projects that I've written out. I think only 1 or 2 of them are going to be live recorded. The rest are going to probably be MIDI. There's one that's definitely going to be live recorded, and I want your opinion on it, because I want as many people's opinion on this as possible. This is one of the ones that I really enjoyed playing through. Unfortunately, I can't get like a good shot of the whole thing, so what I'm going to do is that the top part, it's not that much interesting to look at, but take a gander at it. Let me know how you think of it. I'm going to play through it once. And tell me what you think you would hear this in, because that's also important. I'm trying to drive home where you would hear something like this. And I won't tell you what it is yet, but I will let you see if you can kind of guess where you would hear something like this in. You know what I mean? So, that's probably good. So, this arose from something totally different than what it turned out to be. This song, originally, I had written it out as this. And it turned into something completely different. And all I did really was simplify everything, add in a couple of weirder chords than were originally in there, and came up with it. And I just love it. Like, I don't know. It just something. It really just I really like it. This was something I was really happy with when I wrote it. And what sucked was at the time I wrote it on stream, and it happened to be like one of the streams that like just fucking no one showed up. Like the one time, just no one was coming into the stream, and I was like, damn it, like. This is such a, like, I'm so happy with this. Trust me, I've written stuff that I absolutely hate, and people still come in and will be like, no, it's fine, and I'm like, I just hate it. And people will come and show up for the stuff that I hate. And this, I really enjoyed. I was so happy with how it sounded, and no one, like, there was no one in the stream the whole time. And I was like, man, that really sucks. So I haven't really gotten a chance to play this for anyone. Actually, I'm thinking tomorrow is when I'm going to record this. Either tomorrow or later on tonight is when I'm going to officially record this and then put it into the editing software and start like mixing it and screwing around with it. So to give you a perspective on where I drew this from, this, I don't know if you can read it. It's tough to read because of my horrible handwriting. I wrote start of a horror game. I drew inspiration from this from the game Layers of Fear. That beginning piano thing in Layers of Fear that goes like this. Actually, it's like this. I honestly don't even know what it is. I have no idea what the chords are. I just know the beginning is. That's all I know. But that's kind of where I drew this from. And I think it actually would fit in a horror game. I could see this fitting in like a horror game. I don't have a name for it or anything. I can see this fitting in a horror game, like at the beginning of a horror game, before anything's even started yet. Before the ambient noise starts and you're like in the dark fearing for your life. This is the beginning song that happens before the actual terror starts. Like, that's when this is going to get played. And I was like, yeah, this fits. It's one of those things that I thought immediately fit. But yeah, that's one of the ones that I really liked. Let me just go over real quick and see. Like, I like some of these. They're just not my favorite. Like, oh, I have this remake of... Okay, so here's an example of reharmonizing melody. The Song of Storms song from Zelda. That third chord is just so bizarre to me. It's an E7 on top with an E minor triad in the bottom. And it's so crunchy and gross sounding that I love it. It's actually an E9. And it clashes so badly, but I think it sounds cool. That's one of the other ones that I wrote. I wrote something for Doom, which is funny. I wrote something for The Sims, which is actually, that's not a bad one. I wrote 2 Pokemon songs, and one of them I like. The other one I don't, because it's very, like, simple, which it was supposed to be. That was kind of the point of it. But this one's really obnoxious to play. I'm not going to go on with that. And then all the Mist stuff, which I wrote a ton of. I mean, there's like 3 pages worth of Mist stuff. Which we don't have to get into right now. That's just a whole clusterfuck of things. It's only 11:16. I still like have another hour or 2 to stream. I don't know. I feel like we should start another project. I just don't know what to start on. You know what I mean? What I could do is I could pull up another idea from the idea phone, and we can go from there. Because there's always a video on my phone that I can use for ideas. So this is about a year or 2 old, whatever this one is. Oh, yeah. Pretty simple one. I don't actually know what the chords are for this anymore. I'm trying to think. And then I think it's... I don't remember the rest after that. It gets weird. That one gets kind of weird. I'd rather just write something from scratch, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I hate to just cut things short. I just don't know what else to write right now. I literally thought that this was going to take me longer than an hour and a half to write out, but it seems to have. I don't know. Do not know what to say. What can I say? I'm unprepared. I guess it's alright. I guess what I'll do then is I will just kind of cut things short for today. And tomorrow we'll be back and we will write out... I'll have 2 things just kind of in my head that I want to write and get ready to do for tomorrow. And yeah, and I'll keep streaming. I'll have a lot more time too tomorrow anyways. I mean, I have time today anyways, but oh well. Thank you guys for coming out if you did, and if you haven't already, please hit follow. Helps me out, keeps me wanting to stream for you guys so that I'm not just kind of sitting alone in the dark writing music by myself. I like being able to write and get feedback from people, and it's really enjoyable to do. So I'm always glad to do it. Yeah, anytime. I will be back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time starting. And I usually go till like somewhere between 12, like noon and 2. Yeah, hey, that's totally fine. I understand. Yeah, you don't want to be watching a stream at work, man. Don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, so I will come tomorrow with a couple of ideas, not just one, and hoping that it will last the whole time. But yeah, I really enjoy doing this. This is kind of what I've decided to make my career here. So I'd like to spend as much time as humanly possible kind of doing this and just gaining a following and seeing what happens with it. And yeah, the streaming part is mostly for fun. If it catches on, it catches on. The writing, the music part is the part that's important to get done. Yeah, I mean, that'd be great, man. I would be down to do something like that on any one of my projects. I think that'd be fun. Like I said, yeah, you can do that. That's fine. If you want to, you know, send me a message or something, you can do that. That'd be fine. Yeah, I might need to do that again, or you might need to link me that again. But I'll hold on to this and just kind of have it on the ready. But other than that, yeah, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. I will leave you with another song by Hiromi because she's just absolutely awesome. And yeah, like I said, I'll be back tomorrow with a couple more songs. So see you later.